everyone, George your Ramblin Man here. Hope everyone's doing well today. This is going to be a little bit of a different vlog for me this time. It's going to be just a little introduction here, and I'm going to show you a video that my son sent to me. A couple of weeks ago he sent me an email and said, "Hey Dad, I might have some guest content for one of your YouTube videos." And I'm thinking, man, he's bought himself a motorcycle, or maybe one of his friends has sent me something. But it was not that. You shall see in a minute. This is one of his newest inventions. And just a little background here before I start playing this video. This video is my oldest son, Ben, who's 33 years old now. He'll be 34 in December. Man, time flies. Feeling older and older here. But when he was a little guy, he's always been smart as a whip. Always did well in school. And when we would spend time together as a little guy, he would always come to me, "Dad, I got a great new invention." And he would proceed to tell me about his new invention, whether it be a vehicle, an airplane, a spaceship, a weapon, whatever it might be. He had inventions. Most of them were complete with drawings. In fact, one time he gave me a drawing of a missile that he designed on a missile wagon. And I was working down in Warner Robins, Georgia at Robins Air Force Base, working for the Army Corps of Engineers. We were managing military construction for the Air Force down there, and he gave me this drawing of this missile on a missile wagon, spelled M-I-S-S-A-L. I guess he was about 8 years old. He said, "Dad, take this to the base and see if you can get this built." I still think I have that drawing someplace. If I can find it, maybe I'll put it in this video. But his mind was always going 100 miles an hour. And he's always been kind of a motorhead like me. We always enjoyed going to car shows and air shows and things of that nature. So anyway, he has designed and built an electric skateboard. He's going to share with us the technical details and all the specs on here in a little video that he did. So without further ado, I'll let you take a look at this video for a few minutes of Ben and his electric skateboard, along with his fiancée, Jacqueline. They'll be married next January here in Atlanta. Looking forward to that. So hope you enjoy this little invention for my son. 8 years old or 33 years old, he hasn't changed. So here you go.
Hello everyone. Just want to show off a new project of mine. It is an electric skateboard, or a mountain board. It's almost completely custom. I built the battery pack myself and compiled a list of components from lots of research online and some YouTube videos and some forums, and spent the past few weeks soldering some components together and learning a lot about batteries and amperages and voltages and electronics and some physics, even getting the gear reductions and math right so that it can power someone my weight and get enough torque to go up hills and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to show this this cool little project off to you. Providing a bit of a close-up on the board. So this is the front of the board. Got the foot straps, the battery box in the center,
It's the voltage meter there. It's kind of hard to photograph, but it's on, showing about 80-something%. This is the motor and the speed controller inside that box, as well as the receiver to the wireless nunchuck. Second day of electric skateboarding. Jacqueline's taking it for a ride. Yesterday we had a wired nunchuck controller, but today I hooked up a new wireless nunchuck controller. Feels good in the hand. Has a up for throttle forward, down for brake. Also has a button for reversing the direction, and a button that you hold to maintain cruise control using a PID algorithm. This particular board is a single motor on the rear right wheel. It's 63, I think 64 Turnigy SK3 with a 190 kV, which means 190 RPM per voltage applied. The battery is custom built, homemade out of 18650 LG MJ1 cells. Each one is 3.7 volts, 3500 milliamp hours. I have 10 of those in series, which provides about 36 to 42 volts, and 3 in parallel. So that's 3 times 3500 milliamp hours. And that produces, according to math, should be about 20 miles of range, give or take, assuming most of it's flat. Has a lot of torque. I went with a gear reduction of 17 teeth HTD 5mm pitch belt pulley attached to the motor shaft, and then a 72 tooth pulley attached to the tire or the wheel itself. So that should produce a really good torquey gear reduction. You can see the battery is contained inside the black box on the center of the board. It also, that's where the switch is. There's an anti-spark connector which serves as the key, and a voltage meter for the battery. There's also a buck converter inside there that provides a 5-volt max 3 amp USB, or 2 USB ports actually. So I could put an Arduino in there. And in the other box at the rear of the deck, that's the electronic speed controller. It's actually a Vetter speed controller, or VESC 4.12 firmware, and that is pretty top-end speed controller. You can program it with lots of customization potential, lots of coefficients, and min and max amperages and RPMs and temperature readings. So lots of safety features built into this box. And in fact, the entire board has a few safety features. The battery management system that's attached to each of the batteries keeps track of balancing the charge and discharge of the battery. There she goes. Oh, she's picking up some speed now. See, the tires are, I think they're 6 or 8 inches. I forget, actually. I want to say 200 millimeters. Sounds about right. The motor mount's temporary. The motor mount was made out of wood, more as a prototype to get the dimensions right. Eventually, I'm going to produce a CAD drawing out of that, a 3D CAD, and then hand that over to a water jet or CNC service so that they can mill that out of a solid block of maybe an aluminum alloy, something strong. Too thin of pure aluminum and it'll just, snap and the heat could get to it. The lights are just standard bike lights on their independent AA batteries or AAA batteries. But I hope to either hook those up to the main battery, bypassing the need for AA's or AAA's. I mean, they are rechargeable AA's in there, but hopefully I can hook them up to the main battery pack and then even remove the need for the independent switches as well and just have that be part of the main switch. There's also some reflective tape all over it just in case. Took a few weeks to build, lots of suppliers. There's a great forum on the internet called electric skateboard.builders. Pretty much everything you need to know is on that forum, and plenty of very helpful people. It was started, I believe, by the guy who founded and runs Invention, which is fantastic. I think they're Australian company that produces skateboards. Maybe not so much mountain boards. This is technically called a mountain board because of the wheels and the particular shape of the deck as well. It's meant for off-roading, and I chose it because Atlanta streets are pretty bad and there's metal plates everywhere and broken sidewalks, and so I wanted to give myself the option. The board, according to math, like I said, it has the 15 or 20 miles of range with the battery pack, the 10S 3P battery pack, and theoretically, according to some spreadsheets, where you put in the internal gear ratio of the motor, the voltage, amperage, the gear reduction, the fact that I'm using 17 tooth and 72 tooth pulleys, it should receive a max speed or get to a max speed of about 30 miles an hour, maybe even 35, assuming a flat surface. But most people agree, even the experienced skateboarders and electric skateboarders, they say their psychological max, their fear max is about 20-25 miles per hour. Some people even say like about 15 to 20. And considering that we have never skateboarded in our lives, I think we're mostly comfortable doing to about 10 miles an hour. It definitely looks slower than it feels. And the video just looks like we're crawling, but really it feels a lot faster when you're on the board. And in typical fashion, the skateboard turns by tilting. If you tilt back on the board, you turn right, and if you tilt front, then as if you're getting on your tippy toes, it'll turn left. So the trucks are the axles, and they when you tilt the board, they basically turn the trucks. They pivot the trucks, and that can also be tuned with the suspension. You can either make it firmer or you can make it softer, and that affects affects steering, but also affects stability of the board and other things. So sometimes it's a balance. You know, you're sacrificing one thing to gain another. Well, that's it. So we're practicing today. We're going to go into the Beltline tomorrow. So we're going to be out in public with some friends, get a good ride, and we're trying to practice right now so we don't make total fools of ourselves. Thanks for watching.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video of Ben's skateboard. He had a lot more technical information in there than I quite understand, but that's the way his mind works. Ben was a computer science major at Georgia Tech, has a computer science degree, and he would tell me about his courses. I could barely understand what he was telling me. And now that he's in the computer field, his mind kind of operates on a different level than mine does. The only comments I have, Ben, for your electric skateboard, if you really want to market this thing and maybe sell a few, at least to my audience here, I think you need some handlebars on that skateboard. I think you need maybe a front fairing or at least a windscreen. A fairing would be nice if you get yourself a stereo in it. Maybe a luggage rack, and you definitely need some loud pipes on it. It's way too quiet. But other than that, I think you got a good invention there, did a good job. Hope everybody enjoyed this. This is George, Ramblin Man here. Everybody have a great week. Ride safe.